Over 109 million souls in Mexico. Over 95% lost. 62 unreached people groups. Thousands who have never heard. In Mexico, Satan holds millions of souls captive. Indian rituals performed for Mary and other Catholic idols produce beliefs that hold so many in bondage. The cult of the dead, animism, witchcraft are strongholds as well. Into this spiritual darkness, God has sent some of his servants to bear the light of life.
In 1968, Ethan's grandparents, Charles and Betty Lewis, answered God's call and went as missionaries to La Mesa de las Tablas, a small village in the mountains of northeastern Mexico. It was to this same area that God called Ethan's parents to help in 1979. Rick and Robin Shields have been serving in the area of San Antonio de las Alazanas for 30 years now. They are the founders of Banner of Faith Ministries, the missionary fellowship of which we are a part. The seed Ethan's grandparents left behind has grown and flourished into a great testimony for the glory of God. He has blessed this ministry with a Bible Institute, a Christian day school, El Faro Christian Camp and Conference Center, and most importantly, multiple indigenous, self-supporting churches. Ethan's family and the others that are serving with Banner of Faith Ministries have dedicated their lives to being a beacon of truth in the darkest parts of Mexico.
Although these and other missionaries are shedding the light abroad in Mexico, there are still 62 unreached people groups. Why? Why so close to the United States are there still so many unreached people groups? In studying the history of missions, we find that there are three major phases. The first was that of taking the gospel to the coastal regions. The second is where the gospel was and is being taken to the inland areas and big cities. Today, missions as a whole finds itself on the threshold of a third and final phase, reaching the isolated people groups. Some neglected, some forgotten, and some not yet discovered, where the challenge is not only cultural, but where the geographical factor becomes ever more defiant. The Lord has called us to go to these remote areas and seek out the harvest from the corners of the fields, or in our case, on the mountaintops.
One such isolated region in Mexico is in the state of Hidalgo. Hidalgo is located in central Mexico and is roughly the size of New Jersey. There are 2.5 million inhabitants in the state, most of which are farmers, given that a quarter of all the green peppers in Mexico are produced here.
Many of the people in the surrounding areas are Indians, such as the Nahuatl, Huasteco, Tepehua, and Otomi. It is to the unreached people groups like these that God has called us.
The main obstacle to overcome is location. The majority of the groups are not reached simply because it is difficult, or near impossible, to get to their villages via land. Because of poor roads and rugged terrain, many of these people live in secluded places that may be an 18-hour drive or more from the nearest city.
There are numerous villages hidden in the mountains that have little or no communication with the outside world. Most people are not aware that places like this still exist. Officials in Molango deny the existence of villages without roads, electricity, or the gospel. But through further investigation, we know that there are villages in such a situation. San Miguel, Pahuatitla, Zacatipan, Pachiquitla, just to name a few. This makes it quite obvious that these 62 people groups represent thousands of souls that are in dire need of being reached.
Our primary goal is to preach the gospel to those who have never heard. We will use every resource that the Lord has given us in order to accomplish our goal and to further the Great Commission. One such resource is aviation. This will make these isolated villages accessible and enable us to effectively evangelize them.
The Zenith Air CH-801 offers short takeoff and landing capabilities, rugged construction, and cost effectiveness, all of which are characteristics that such a ministry requires. We will use Molango as a base to reach out to those villages in the surrounding area that do not have the gospel. We intend to plant self-supporting indigenous churches by working closely with the nationals and relying on years of mission field experience. To share the gospel with these people is our heartbeat, but more importantly, it is our reasonable service to which we are called. Who will go and tell them? Our family has answered this call. Here we are, Lord. Send us.
God has called, and He has sent us to the regions beyond.
The regions where the name of Christ has never been heard,
where no lips sing His praises,
where only the light of the glorious gospel of Christ can break through the darkness.